Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So I'm gonna do this one as a recording. I don't know, I suppose it could be like a summary. But I still have a few things to do, so I thought I'd record it while we're doing it. What I want to talk about then is going to be our reaction over here. Now you may notice, yes, okay, we're going to move the subcloud to the north, which is going to be really quite nice. The reason for doing so, whoops, I'm all over the place here. The reason for doing so is we're looking to try and interdict his likely path of retreat. The Kidapati is going to be moving full speed to the north over here. Now that is 18 hexes, we will not be able to make it the full 18, so we're likely to be around about this position here. What we're going to do is I'm going to get these guys over here. Their fatigue is very, very high. It was because of me actually forgetting to put them on normal settings again. So I'm just going to rectify that right now. I had done it on another save, but I'd actually close that. So I'm just doing it here to make sure everything's alright, and there we go. Put that 6 as well. Indeed. Now, it's going to be a rather entertaining one next turn. It could be another one where nothing happens, but we'll see. Now, we do have a destroyer that's actually set to go full speed in different directions here. Imagine like the face of a clock, essentially. The reason for doing so is, yes, chase refueler. That's going to follow. That's going to be handy. The reason for doing so is what we want to do here is we are going to continue upon Wake. I'm going to reorder these guys here. It is very likely that he will pull out of the area. He's going to be aware that the Kidapati is at least somewhat in the area. He will know that. Obviously, he did see that we had zeros covering, which we're no longer doing, by the way. He will know. But what we need to do here does not change. We need to get these men ashore. We need to get them into the fight here at Wake Island. There's only about 60 AV here. Obviously, we did lose quite a few men when the AP sank. Now, thankfully, we still have the means to get there. We have 3 hexes to go until we arrive at Wake. These guys can move 6 in a turn, so we will arrive there during the night time. That's going to make a big difference. Being able to unload during the night is going to make a tremendous difference. Very much so. If we take a look over here then, we'll review the settings. Okay, so you can see that we have the A5 M4s here. Now I'm going to have them on 100%, just in case. Absolutely worthwhile doing so, really. Just make sure every single one of them is in the fight. We have these zeros here set to 60%. You can see that we have them using drop tanks extended range. Would really... well, not that it particularly matters. I could take the drop tanks off them, to be honest. Yeah, I'm going to take the drop tanks off them. We're going to be operating out to... good job reviewing this, actually. Little things get missed, but this is why we check things. So we're going to be operating out to 7 hexes anyway. So we'll change that for the zeros. Yeah, just some legacy things there, isn't it, really? It's going to be an interesting one. I don't imagine we will. Okay, what we're going to do then is take them off the long-range cap there. They obviously need to be focused on this. Yeah, so the good news is we have the A5 M4s. Now they're going to be running 4, 5, and 6,000 feed there. I mean, it's a couple of them there, but the beauty of the A5 M4s is they're not exactly great. But even these 7.7s will be handy. And the idea here is, we already will. I don't know whether it's free carry to the north or if it's likely to, but it could be free. But the reason why the A5M4s are going to come in handy is it just gives us that additional cap boost, which is very, very handy. We should have a larger fighter cap in theory as well, but it just means that we have more to go around. It increases our chances of success. It increases our chances of survival as well, which is a very important one there to bear in mind. If he's running low, then we have fighters down that way. And these guys are very maneuverable below 10,000 feet. They're very maneuverable. They don't have a lot of killing potential, but they're very maneuverable. You can see they're far more maneuverable than the zeros below 10k. So it's one of those of, well, they work really well at that sort of level, so let's use them like that. Right, so there we go, we're set there. Let me just double check. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Yep, okay. As you can see, that is our normal operations anyway. There's no need to have them beyond 7, as we're not going to be striking beyond that anyhow, as the torpedo planes are not set to do that. It's going to cost us some fuel, but what we'll do then is we'll use these surviving AKs over here to actually refuel from. Okay. Let's take a look at the settings. So they're running 20% search. That's the 11,000 feet there. Search will obviously come in very handy there. Torpedo bombers there. Not running any search of their own, which is fine. We want to make sure that they're getting through, really, to attack. Now, the thing to bear in mind is it's not great to run full speed all the time. Well, this is the one time, though, we will attempt it again. It's one of these of, it's likely we will not see any battle here. But on the off chance that he actually decides to linger in the area, or doesn't move as far north as potentially he may wish to do, or may, well, afterwards may wish to do. We'll see. We want to make sure that we can try and cover this area. Wake is an intolerable situation. It's a difficult one. I think the issue is, well, he knew we were coming. Now, we have theorized that there might be oilers alongside this force over here, which is going to be intriguing to see nonetheless. There might be 2 or even 3 carriers here. It's somewhat hard to say at this moment. I kind of feel like 2, but it's hard to say. Like, you've got to... Well, this is it. The information we have here is not exactly accurate. Yes. I mean, we are fortunate weather-wise. It's saying overcast over here. So hopefully the weather holds out for us. Clear skies is what's supposedly going to be reported there. So let's hope we see that. Now, we do have our subs moving out this way. I'm going to go through these guys, make sure that the ones with the actual float planes are set properly, really. Again, these are little legacy things that we need to go through. So what I'm going to do then is look for any of them with a float plane. Midget's up there, and it's still still in there. I look forward to using them. I can't remember which one had the aircraft now. I can't bloody find it now. That's amusing. Oh dear. Oh dear. Ah, here we go. Okay, so for the most part, they are set. Ah, see, it doesn't actually say then. Ah, that's okay. What we'll do then is we'll go through these subs over here then. What I'll do is actually go through them all like this. Actually, I wonder. Capacity, there we go. There's not that many subs that actually carry float planes. Yeah, there we go, that's another. Little things like that do get missed. So it's a good thing that we are picking up on it now. Yeah, it seems like we got most of them, but obviously some slipped by. So that one's not going to be flying. Shame there to have lost that. Have to get that replaced. We will be replacing all of them with Jakes, really. is indeed a cruel mistress, the back and forth button. It's just, I don't know, it never seems to work properly for me. There goes another. There we go. So, it is very interesting. It's going to be something of a tactical battle to come, really. Obviously, it could have strategic implications, but we'll see what can be managed. I had pondered upon actually heading out for New Caledonia. I'm going to actually change that, scratch that, until later, actually. The beauty of him having actually revealed his carriers to an extent here. Actually, have it on 100%. Let's see. Yes, the beauty of him actually having revealed carriers over here in the north is it allows us to do things elsewhere that we might not have actually considered doing. Or at least we have more security in doing so, which is nice. Let's go for them all. There we go. It's I8. I9. I10. Yeah, there we go. 15. 17. Okay. There we go. I do like 50-50. It's something they can essentially leave them on where there's not going to be any problems. Need an aircraft board there. Alright, 23. Looking good. 25. Yep, looking good. Okay, so essentially, we'll see what happens. It could again, once again, come to a load of naught, but there is every chance that maybe, just maybe, the stars will align and he may not make the best decision. It will be intriguing to see what happens in the day after. He's likely going to pull out either towards Midway. It depends really on how far. He may go north quite far and then back towards Midway. It'll be an interesting one. Ideally, we do have information to work with, which is where the destroyers come into play. Now, of course, the destroyers will be heading in different directions over here. Obviously, quite far north. Obviously, we don't have to run them entire length there. We'll see where they are afterwards. We could always have them fall back to Marcus Island afterwards, but we're going to see really what happens. The destroyers are going to be out there to try and tie up any surface detachments he has, or makes, sorry. So let's say all these escorts that he has, they will end up having to react, or they won't be on a reaction setting, really, due to the presence of destroyers. So it's one of these of where it would be nice to have our own surface task force broken off for protection. It seems like it may not be as necessary as such, but it will be very necessary for him, really. The beauty is that's going to potentially break off assets that he will be using, well, would otherwise be using to defend the carriers. It also means that we might have a chance to actually run into his carrier force and potentially cause problems. We don't have much in the way of ammunition, but we do have torpedoes. Not many torpedoes on some of these destroyers, but we still have torpedoes. Now, if we get there during the night, and we do have some shells, we still have some shells, which is not bad. We can still do damage with that, really, can't we? After all, they are still 120 centimeter guns there. Yeah, the best case scenario would be to get some torpedoes launched off, which would be very nice. Just to try and cause confusion, try and cause duress for his carriers. The thing to bear in mind is, yes, we are far to the south, but we will make ground quickly. But you notice their ops points. You have 1,000 operation points per turn for your forces over here. What we're going to try to do is, well, if we actually are looking, we do intercept him, that will cause him to accrue more operation points, i.e. he's not going to be using them as he wishes he would. So that may actually slow his movement. Because you imagine, obviously, when you're in surface combat, that is going to slow you. So ideally, he doesn't go as far out of the way as he otherwise would. Ideally, he may spend munitions. Ideally, he may suffer damage. Ideally, things could go wrong for him, which is what we want to see. These men are going to go to Wake. They are going to goddamn take Wake. Or die trying. It would be a great shame to lose them, but at the end of the day, we will just try again at a later date. But I would rather try and take Wake now. It's an intolerable situation. We cannot allow it to continue to fester, really. But what we will be doing is over here at Ley, I'm going to launch a deliberate attack. There is some worries that he may have actually brought together his forces over here. It is a very tough hex there. It's Jungle Rush 6 times 3, so I'm hoping that it will be enough to take this, but we shall see. We will be entering into the second day of battle with the Naval Guard units over here. Let's check on their capabilities. Not bad. Both are planning here, that's nice. Now, I am going to have the 21st Flotilla head towards Ley. That is, well, I don't know actually. It's not as dangerous now due to the fact that we know where the carriers are. We can actually have him head down there towards Ley. We are going to be building up Ley rapidly. Let's see. Cruiser mine layer and fuel moving in there, which is good. How far are they going to move? They're going to be moving 8. They've got 9 to go. What I'm going to do then is have them head to Kavieng. Well, I could have them head there. They won't be in danger, but it might be worthwhile just to hold them off at Kavieng. Possibly. It's one of those where it does make a huge difference, actually. Let's see. Well, they're not going to arrive tomorrow anyway. But what I will do then is have it just head over here to Kavieng. Just really for safety, to be honest. So Rabal's going to be the big port in the area. Now, Ley's not a slouch either, it's a ×2. But what we like about Ley is it will give us a lot of airfields in this area. What we're going to do then is actually start the groundwork for the capture, for the conquest of Port Moresby, which is going to be very interesting. Now, let's take a look. I do have a number of engineering assets moving down here to Tulagi. I will need assets over here, but at least with the 21st Air Flotilla. That does give us a good chunk of aviation support, which is very nice. As you can see, plenty there, really. Plenty enough. I'm moving the engineers into Tulagi. Now, the heavy cruisers are spotted. The heavy cruisers are kind of acting as guardians in this area. Now, I had actually previously thought about heading for New Caledonia. We will have to probably forestall that, well, leave that for a little while. I'm going to build the airbase up at Tulagi. I would like to actually have a strong foundation here, and Tulagi is a big part of that. Right, I do have the 61st and the 52nd Naval Guard over here. What I'm going to do is instead have them... So this is it. It does give us a lot of naval... Well, it gives us a lot of AV to work with there. But what I need is I need to have AVH today. I need to have a assault value for the attack at Port Moresby, really. So what I'm going to do is instead have them sent towards Rabal here. Let's see, they're running... Now they're running 50-50. There we go. Yes, I'm going to get 2 Naval Guard units over there. What I will be doing then as well is, well, I'll go through that actually shortly. But we do have engineers heading down here, so you can see that we have the 39th, the 38th, the 37th, the 36th, more 38th, more 39th, more 38th, more 37th, more 36th, more 39th. But indeed we have a good number of actual road construction units over here. So you can see there, 10, 2, 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 3, 12, 12, yep, there we go. And that's a good chunk of engineers. There are significantly more on the way. Significantly more, which is nice. I'm also going to take this unit, yep, it's instead going to head this way, which is great. That's going to bring us a lot of actual engineering units. Well, these are aviation units, of course, which we can actually spread out across the area. Additional supply, which is always good. This ship and engineer regiment I will likely have head into Rabal, as it does give us a little bit of naval support there, which is nice. Couple engineers is okay as well, a little bit of support there. That naval support's nice, it does help with a lot of things. It's quite handy, really. Now, truck, in the THG game, I had began building that up port there. Come to regret it to some extent. Let's see, I need a escort here. Right. I will need you to be loaded up. Yeah. We're going to need that for the Kiddipatai, essentially. So that will need to be loaded up ASAP. Now what I'm going to do is actually have that as a escort. It's going to continue to load fuel, which is fine. But what I'm going to do here then... Sort by type. Okay, so we have Abukuma, who's in great condition. I'm going to take out the Hakizian, whatever you want to call it. Now, Abukuma... Well, actually, no, to be honest. Shiriya is actually quite slow, isn't she? So, no, the patrol boat will be fine, but I would imagine. So that's fine, they can head towards the Nibotok. That gives us the ability to actually get fuel out towards the, to the KB. Should be nice. You're going to head south. Let's see. I do have Yubari that has just arrived. So disband her. Now let's take a look. I do have a oiler moving out to Tulagi, so we will have fuel there at Tulagi, which is handy. Okay. So she doesn't have to actually set off immediately. That's fine. What I'm going to do then is have this as an escort for now. So she can go back into the port there. What I'm going to do is, let's see. What do I actually have here? That's the important thing. So at Truck, we have 4th Base Force, we have Truck Naval Fortress, we have the Southeast Area Fleet, and we have the 4th Fleet. Okay. Right, that's a lot of naval support there. But there's no compound units to be shifted. Okay. Right. Now let's see. 125, 90, sorry, 198. Is it? Yeah, 198. So much fuel. It's beautiful. Still need absolutely more and more coming down here. What I'm going to do then is actually have Abukuma Yubari. I'm going to have them. Let's see. They do come in very handy for fast transports, but what I'm thinking about doing here is we do need to get assets moving off of Babaldwab. So I need to see what we have at Babaldwab. Couple ships over there, mostly oilers at this point in time, which is actually quite nice to actually have so many oilers. Now, what I would probably be better off doing is actually taking maybe 2 oilers out this way to give us something out this way. But I don't have transports there right now. There will be an ACM there tomorrow. We'll have a couple transports there, but nothing really hugely effective. What I need to do is move additional combat forces over here at the base. This is something I need to do as well. So this is the Kimura detachment. I'm going to rebuild this into the 33rd Regiment, which does need now to actually head to Kandari. That is the regiment that is required to form the division here at Kandari with the forces that arrive tomorrow. Okay. And they're 14 knotters, 12 knots, okay. There's a big risk of submarine attack here, but we have to continue. What I'm going to do then is move, take that off, back cap, okay. I'm going to shift these guys into Mekasar. Don't need drop tanks. Have them just run back for the time being. I'm going to delay the invasion of Denpasar. So what I'm going to do then, there was a good idea. Infinite did suggest taking these bases with these forces. I will do that with forces from Kandari. It was a very good point, but I want these forces available. Essentially what I'm going to be considering then is when these forces arrive in Kandari, I think what I'll do is have an invasion force formed over here to Kandari to take Denpasar. Though in fairness, there's not much there to actually resist us. So I don't think it would take a great deal of force. But what I'm going to do is have these forces shifted over here to Mekasar. They can unload, give the infantry some time to rest, and then we'll move upon Banjarmasin. We are making really good progress. Though we are reaching an odd situation where we have to be somewhat mindful if we go too fast. Things can turn sour. So we need to bear in mind. So what we're going to do then is send these forces to Megasar. I will mine Megasar as well, which is going to be really worthwhile. I'm going to get some ACMs into the area as well. Now, what I'm going to do then is have this force. So I'm going to have them set to low threat threshold and get them into their new port there. Or maybe potentially just absolutely make sure they get there. We'll send them to absolutely make sure they still get there. Okay. Now, this task force over here. We could have it move out into this area over here to actually engage. Which is an interesting one. Let's see. Okay. So, the MKB is moving 8 hexes there. So, she'll arrive at this point. Okay. What I'll do then is... Let's see. Okay. So we can move through here, which is good. I'm going to have them actually head south to link up with the MKB around this area. The reason I'm doing this is I want to try and tantalize him. Well, he's going to likely leave this area. But what I would like to do is actually put some surface combatant forces here. So that, obviously, if he wants to try and move upon the MKB, he's going to instead potentially run into battleships. I would fight him here, but once we do clear Denpasar, then that's great news. It means that we'll actually have the ability to land there and take the base. A added benefit of moving these forces to Megasar is it does get us aviation units out there. There's a coin here. Nothing terribly large, but at least it is still something to work with. Right, we're just unloading supply here. Okay. Suguru is going to mine the port. Ideally that will help us. Right, we're unloading fuel here. Okay. So we have a couple of assets here that could be utilized. So let's see. So if I was to cancel that unloading and instead look at things to load. Yeah, currently there's only 5th Air Division here at the moment. So I'm going to have to wait for troops to actually arrive. So what I can do then is put these fellows into port. You could now dock and actually unload. There we go. And then we can have you somewhat more protected. They're defending the port. Unload in here. And we'll have them dock as well so they are safe. Or safer. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. I do need a lot of patrol boats down here at Kandari. Mines will sure help. Which is good. It's just frankly getting these forces into position now. Another 2 Ki-43s over here are now available. Right, okay. I forgot what I've already moved. So, yeah. What I'll do then... So I do have another battleship cover force, which is quite good. Okay. You're going to actually link up. And join. Mayoko is fully armed. Nachi needs to return to rearm. But what I'll do then is have her return to Kandari to rearm. Cancel that meeting. And tell you to head to Kandari. Yeah, just AA. No torpedoes or really anything of value. What I'll do then is use a waypoint and tell them to go this way, just for safety for the time being. The excellent news is we will have, and this is actually quite well protected force, we will have the 23rd Air Flotilla in Kopang tomorrow, which is great. They have 6 hexes to go, they're moving. I would move them at full, but then it drains the destroyers for very little. So they're moving fine. So they can be set to absolute and get into the port there where they will unload. So we'll actually have that available then, which is very nice. So over here now, let's see. He does have these forces here, so I will require the naval unit for a little while. Not terribly long. so I can move them out elsewhere. The good news, well, they probably won't be coming back in here really, but it is good to have some some assault value, not aviation support. And the good news, because we have such a glut of men moving in, men and material, it gives us a lot to play with. These APDs will be very handy. These DMSs will be very, very handy. Very useful. So what we're going to do then is we're going to head back to port over here and try and take waypoints to try and avoid the worst of it, but it's difficult due to the nature of how he is moving his subs. So it might be that we just clear waypoints, we'll just go for it. Essentially, the sooner we get into port, the better, really. They can be set to auto-disband when they arrive at Kandari. But that's a successful invasion. These APDs will be very, very useful. Absolutely. Can't wait. I have moved over here the H6K Force, which is brilliant news. That gives us a real nice reach out into this area. I'm going to reduce that to 60-40 to try not to put too much pressure on them. Maybe 70-30 for the time being, but obviously we'll ease it back down. We are sending our heavy cruisers over here, which is great. Now at Kopang, we do have a tiny amount of fuel. Not a lot of fuel, however. Megastar, there's no fuel, besides 74. But yes, we'll have them head to Kandari then afterwards. And so they're going to continue to head down this way, which is excellent news. This AP is likely to escape us, but these other ships are not likely to escape us, which is very nice. There's 2 ships there, I don't know. These AMCs or whatever else is in here are quite good to take out. AMCs, I think... Yeah, I mean, it'd be very nice if they are actual AMCs. But we'll see. Okay. Have them just continue around. Need to try and just catch up as much as we can, really. We will move... Well, this is... I'm going to hope these AMCs are slower. We're set 14. We're going to move 8. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll likely be in this position just off Exmouth. But we'll see. I would like to actually catch them. There is every chance that there is other assets in this area as well, but we'll try and catch them. That would be very nice. These subs are still causing issues, which is good. Right. What I can do then... Yeah, these AGPs are nice. Cruiser mine, yeah, very nice. However, what I'm going to do then is actually have them Star Patrol there, then head towards Denpasar. He could actually very likely run this way, which I wouldn't be too shocked about. Oh well, better to use the subs where they are. I'll try and hunt targets. Like so. The light cruisers, the heavy cruisers did a really good job. Now, he has a level 2 port here. We could be depth charged, but I think it is worthwhile trying to get these subs in there. But what I'm going to do is actually patrol out these waters. So let's see. Yeah, it's ocean deep here, which is very nice. I would be very happy if we could actually sink a couple more light cruisers, to be honest. That would be very nice. In fact, what we'll do here then is patrol these waters. Indeed, try and pick up on him, really. Okay. So they're heading there. Something about that. I might actually go for the 8 there. Though it might be better just to head this way. It's an interesting one, really. Well, actually, what I'll do then is have them... So they do, in fact, link. Okay, so it needs to be there. Right, there we go. In fairness, I shouldn't be really worried about engaging. I'd rather not engage there. I'd rather engage at distance, really. But either way, we will have a lot of supports. What I'm going to do, though, just make sure we control the situation, is have that too. I don't want them doing anything I don't particularly want them to do. I'd rather be able to control this via air. I don't really want to squander them, per se. Now, let's see. Don't need to run cap like that. Okay. So these guys are running combat air patrol. I'm going to run a bit higher to begin with. Right. Yeah, I can just run escort. That needs to head out. Oops. Okay, change that. Okay. So what we'll do then is we'll get aviation support into here shortly. The good thing is as well that 5,000 supply will be very much welcomed. Should be very nice. Yeah. So things are going well. It looks like we are going to bring him to destruction in this area. They're going to continue out this way. The MKB is going to move into the area, bring ruin. Oops. Yeah. We're having quite high levels of cap here and high levels of rest just because we don't need much in the way of an escort. Helps keep them going as well. Right, there we go. So we'll be heading out this way, an aggressive move. We'll then move up this way. Subs are going to continue to hunt. Ideally they bring home the bacon. Yeah. Now, we will take Palembang tomorrow, which is going to be great. That gives a opportunity to fuel, which is excellent. They're currently unloading. Okay, they're setting out to Palembang, which will bring additional supply there from what's already aboard. But most importantly, additional AA, which is excellent. So we will begin to load additional stuff shortly. Okay, now let's see. Third KUS. Have a Tainan KUS over here. Alright. Okay. So they're resting. They'll be available in a couple days. Yeah. Not so long for that one. Okay. Yes, unfortunately drop tanks are unavailable here. I could still move over to Mexar. Seems Kandahar is too far, however, so we'll keep them as they are. Okay. So fatigue's not so bad. These guys had a nice chance to rest. Right, what I'm going to do, rebuild the unit there. These guys can run long-range cap. Over our men at Mersing, which is 8 hexes away. It's a little bit further than would have been preferred, but we'll go for that. No, they might not be able to do that. Right. What I'd be better off doing then is taking the squadron. Bring that back up. Run it over. Yeah, run it over them. 481. Those are the guys carrying the imported 22nd Air Flotilla, so we need to make sure they are safe. Now, what I could do here then is we could run 10% there. Fatigue's not too bad, also can have a bit of rest. And then what we could do here is we could... Well, I'm going to have to leave some available, actually. Well, what I'll do instead then, break it back up. Okay, so 16 is what we're handling. So we're going to continue to sweep Singapore. Might as well stick up high. Yeah, so we'll double sweep there. then what I can do is have this squadron just essentially... Actually, no, let's see. Run cab, but then actually be available as an escort if... See, those guys are running hard, aren't they? An extended range. Still worthwhile. Not building up too much fatigue. These guys run naval attack within 9 hexes. 9 from here is within range of Singapore. Okay. Right. Yeah, we'll continue that. Let's take a look over here at Kuantan. So, still running long range cap over that force air of 169. Can I break it up? So, Kota. There's one more there. Others are still not available to move yet. But I'll move that to Kuantan. There we go. Let's see, so you're set to sweep. Right. We're going to attack here tomorrow. So we'll have 2 sweeps hitting Singapore then. We'll have the other 0 squadron from that, well, the other detachment of that squadron running a cap and obviously an escort if we do have a naval attack. If not, they'll just continue to rest. Then the other group, which is part of the Thailand KUS squadron, is going to be long-range capping this force over here as it moves across. Which is very handy. Right, so we're loading up and moving out now. So they'll be landing here at Kudat tomorrow. Yeah, might as well load those supplies because we'll need them. Which gives us a decent bit there. I am going to bring the 21st towards Luzon. The reason being, it just, yeah, it makes more sense really. Makes more sense. What I'll do is I'll spread them up as we near. What I'm going to do then is have these guys not head into Hong Kong today, just because of the mines. So what we're going to do then is going to move to this hex here, remain on station. Yeah, okay. Same over here. Until the mines are cleared. Right, there we go. What I'm going to do DMSs then is have them run a patrol. Ideally going in and out will help to clear the mines. One would hope. PB's over here, okay. Right. Have them join with the 21st Division over here. Give them that security as well. Right, tank is moving fuel down here to Patan Island. I've got all this to move. Might as well start doing so now. Is that as much as I can fit in the port? Okay, so dock them. Okay. Again, that naval support is quite nice to have. It's not essential. The engineer, well, it does come in handy, I won't lie. It does come in handy. But we need to move these units out, to be honest. These guys are interested in support. Aviation support. Yeah, oh no, that's an actual unit, isn't it? Yeah, these are quite nice, as they've actually got an infantry squad attached. But I want to get the naval construction out first. I quickly reached the limit there, didn't we? We'll have to add a ship. So we'll do that then. Still docked, that's interesting. Oh, if it works, it works. Okay. Yeah, okay. So they can remain as they are in this position here. But again, that's going to get engineers loaded up, naval construction brigade, well, units loaded up and made ready. We are going to need them. I mean, besides the tragedy of the heavy cruisers, things went pretty damn well, actually. It was a shame that we didn't see any hits over here, but we have that rectified now. These G4Ms have the appropriate pilots. You can see their naval torpedo. So you can see they're going to be far, far better at this now, which is going to be great. Second time's a charm. But he may indeed pull out. He may indeed very well pull out. We'll see. They need to get their asses in gear. We can unload them there. Thankfully, it's a size 4 port, so we are very likely protected there. Which is very nice. Okay. We're just waiting on the influx of reinforcements to come, which is very good. I do have another H6K4 over here. Very nice. That can link up with the rest of the unit at Kopang. Gives us another one to work with. There we go. Still moving assets around, which is excellent. Now, I'll go you. You're going to be very important for me, because you're going to allow me to pick up a unit from over here at Baldwar. Very nice. Yes, what we're going to do then is I need to get the 33rd Infantry Regiment and the other forces there moved up to the front into the Dutch East Indies. But what I'm going to do, what I'm going to release essentially to the South Pacific is the Sasebo 2nd SLF and the Kure. The Kure 2nd SLF there. Now, what that will do for us then is give us another 120 AV to make use of this area. We do have another 120 AV moving up over here in the form of the 61st and 52nd Naval Guard. We have the 2 Naval Guard units over here, which obviously do... well, they've had a little bit of combat, so they will be somewhat recovered in time. But ultimately, I could probably get 5... I could get a Naval Guard unit from over there fairly quickly. But it will give us 2 fresh Naval Guard units. It will give us 2 somewhat bruised Naval Guard units. There's a little bit of Naval Guard over here as well. So it would give us a decent little bit of AV in the area. Which is obviously what we like. And yeah, we've also got more engineers moving into the area, which is excellent. Shima moving out that way. Alright. Shima's going to actually go into here and pick up... Yeah, that unit needs to be moved out. Yeah, that's for damn sure. Need to get that picked up and moved out. But what I'm going to do is actually pick up the Koi, or the 53rd Naval Guard, but likely the 8th JNF Koi, and have them with the Bowen in the short run to actually secure that position for us. So what we'll potentially, well, what we're going to do for all intents and purposes is I'm going to have, let's see, essentially I'm going to move my forces over here. So the 20, I forget what float type it is, 22nd, 23rd, 21st, whatever, whenever it is. That's going to be moving over here to Ley. What I'm going to do, because I do have an Air HQ, an actual higher rank Air HQ headed down this way, but we're some days away before it does arrive. Maybe towards the end of December. But what I'm going to need then is I'm going to need that to then take the place of the flotilla. So, what I'll do then is I'm going to move all the construction units to Ley, which is going to be great. That's going to give us a lot to work with. And frankly, I can actually go ahead and pick that construction unit up. I probably do have some ships in there to do that. So we're going to build up the airfield at Ley. Ley is going to be really the nucleus of our operations here in this area. And then what we'll do then is, once we have the ability to actually control the area via Ley, we'll have our forces made ready to move against Port Moresby. An early move against Port Moresby would be very, very good for us. That'll secure New Guinea for us, essentially. But it secures this area for us. It gives us a very strong position. It gives us another very strong airfield to work with and a port over here on this side, which is nice. So we'll secure this area, make it ready, make it tough for him to try and take back in the far future, and go from there, really. So I do need a little bit of supply down there. What I can do then, these guys are loading, yep, they're already headed down there to Tarawa. That's good of me to actually have that already taken care of. Over here I do have a little bit more of the 51st Naval Guard I should pick up, and a little bit more of this one over here as well. This cruiser mine layer has 350, 250, which is actually really nice. They can actually move quite a decent bit of force for us. So that's going to be good. Okay. Right. Yeah, essentially what we're looking towards doing here then is just reinforcing our positions as much as possible. The outcome of tomorrow, who knows what it will be, but it's not the most important thing, essentially. Right, now moving out that way. Just gives us more subs to work with. I think what I'm going to do is actually put those subs around Port Moresby, to be honest. I was saying that I do have 3 subs that are on the way down here to Tulagi. Should be able to manage that. Let's see if I've got anything over here to move forces. Yeah, we've got you guys moving out, haven't we? Yeah. Kotori needs to head back, but the other ships don't. Not yet. So, escort. Kotori heads back. I can use those ships to actually move things around. So, you head to truck. Disband when you arrive. You, however, can move over here to Kavieng. Then I can actually move that construction unit over here to Ley, which would be nice. So, no. You're going to move here. Not a cruise, you don't need to. Not full either, but mission speed will be fine. What I can do then is even potentially pick up the 8th JNF, but I'll let the cruiser do that. But I can pick up the 7th Naval Construction Battalion over here, which is great. That gives us 36 engineers there, 2 vehicles, a little bit of AA, a little bit of support. Really quite nice. But we can get that shifted over here to Ley, which will give us additional engineers before the other engineers even arrive, which is nice. And obviously there is more coming as well in terms of aviation support on its way from the south, sorry, from the north. That's good. And we'll pick up another unit over here. So what we're going to do then is look to take control of the Port Moresby base there. Should be good. These guys are going to continue to hunt over here, moving those guys out, which is excellent. So reaction 1. So they can then react. Yeah. So it's going to continue to move out this way. I need to get forces moving. What I'm going to do is, I've got all these guys here, which is quite nice. Expanded to the port. Maybe not such a good idea, actually, in retrospect. Oh well. Right. They're fine. They can refuel properly when they get down there, or spread that fuel out properly when they get down there. What I want to do then is, let's see. Not ideal. Okay. That's quite big. But I'll get it started. Is it a light cruiser not have capacity or something? Oh, it's Oi, that's why. Okay, Oi can go into port for the time being. Right. What I'm going to do then is actually move their headquarters down that way. Start to move it at least. I do have supply assets over, sorry, transport assets over here, which will be able to begin moving these guys as soon as we take the base at Palmbang. Yeah, they're set to deliberate. There is additional supply being unloaded here. We did well not to actually be subjected to air attack once again. We'll see. We do have more supply than... Yeah, we have more supply than we need, which is fine. We will have, obviously, additional supply moving in the form of this force moving, which is another 8947. So, it will be enough. They do have enough, they just obviously need to pick it up. Let's see. So they're now set to superior commanders, that's good. Over here, they can... Well, I don't want to rest them as such. Well, what I'm going to do actually is have them rest. Okay. I could even use the force there to take Denpasar. I do need to secure Banjarmasin. That's going to be up next. I'll leave them to continue to just to be as they are. Okay. How tough is that? Swamp. Swamp's not good to deal with. Jungle Rough ain't good to deal with either. But they're not terribly hard. Not terribly hard. Overall, things are looking good, really. We've got assets to where we need them, which is very nice. Now, what I might do is actually... Well, what I'll do then is I could leave behind the APD here. Or do I? Nah. I'll use the APD over this way, actually. I could even potentially have it move there. Yeah, okay. Yep, so we will have a carry force and movement. So, 8 hexes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to put us within range of Denpasar, which is good. I'm going to cover the area down here as well, which is nice. Essentially, we want to make sure that we wipe out the shipping in this area, really, that has ran south. The naval bombers obviously will strike out here as well, which is excellent news. It gives us our ability to just cause loss there. Take assets that he will need them. He will get more, but he will need them. The air HQ of this way is heading north. Yeah, there's a lot of assets to move there. Right. What I'm going to do here then is I'm going to shift you to Bangkok. You're going to run naval search for me. Now towards 15. Right. So from Bangkok, sorry, Port Blair, that's 12. 9. So that's going to give us a good amount of information out in that area, which is what we want. What I'm going to do then is take... That's a lot of Dinas, which is really nice. What I'm going to do then is actually take the other G3M2 group over here. Now... I may in fact have them move north as well, to be honest. That does help out a lot. So over here, I do have a G4 group and I have a G3 group, which is enough. So I'm going to have these naval bombers run search as well from here. The reason being I want to have information in this area. They're in out 15, which gives us information this way. I will have the 3rd HQ, the 3rd Air HQ, 3rd Air Division. That's going to begin moving north this turn. Now, what I want to do then is take these guys. So they're still running camp. But what I want to do then is actually just make sure we have even more escort here. Just a little bit more might make a difference, who knows. Okay. Now, I do have... You might think it out, why didn't I set the G3 Nails to join the bombing attack here? Because I'm going to move the K-48 to Kuantan. Which is going to give us plenty more bombs to work with, which is nice, as we repair the airfield too. There we go. We need to increase the pressure here as much as absolutely possible, to be honest. Ramp up the damage against these airfields until it gets to 100%, and the day before we take it, we don't. So, essentially just let him repair it at that point then. Yep. There we go. There we go. So that's going to give us another... Where is that? 25. So that's going to give us another 47 bombers then. Yep, another 47 bombers there. To hit Singapore with. On top of the 138 there. I will have to watch the fatigue. But what I want to do here then is cause as much damage in the early days. Really try and force them out of the area. But yeah, 138 plus 47, so that's 185 bombers that will be hitting, which is great news. Potentially more so as some of these are repairs. Yeah. That's going to be a good number of bombers there. What we want to do, we did see that we were hitting the airfield and we were damaging aircraft. We want to just essentially wipe the floor with it, really. As much as humanly possible. So we're running naval search here. We're running, well, naval search, naval attack. Naval search here. Naval search over here, which is good because we're going to be shifting focus then north towards Rangoon. Shutting that area down. I do have the paratroopers. Let's see. I might think of the other game, actually. Let's see. I know they're around here somewhere. Moving towards Kavieng. Instead, move towards Leh. Like so. So the Humport to the Bardwap. No, actually, truck's fine. Okay. Use the waypoint here, just move through Jono. Reason is I'm just going to try and avoid that somewhat. Set a second one there. And then what I'll do, I'm not going to refuel because it's going to drain too much there. It's just trying to get us through the worst over here. Okay. All right. I just like to have a little bit of fuel. Moving to carriage again. Sorry, supply. I'm gonna run these guys harder. Contemplated moving them to Roynham. I think I will do then. Quite a long while there. Right. Then what I'm going to do then is have these guys transferred out to Marks Island as well. Now Marks Island doesn't have a huge amount of aviation support. But what we're doing here then is just running them. Oops. Yeah, running them long range, but it's just on the off chance he moves into this area, then at least we have a little bit more information to work with. So, 25... Roynham. Yeah. About that. So it's just on the off chance it gives us a little bit more to work with, really. But in all honesty, I kind of regret doing that. I could just move the H6K4s there, but a bit late now. I don't want to overload it too much. Oh, bugger it, might as well. Okay. It does overload it. Well, not really, but obviously, so we'll get them shifted out then. Can't give them a pilot, unfortunately. Might as well increase that rest then. Yeah, as long as they're running that, that's okay. But this is it. It could make all the difference to the world, really, if we know where he is. I mean, from his current position, he's within range now. And this is it. In reality, had I run H6K4s from Marcus beforehand, maybe would have seen this come in. But this is it. Trying to do everything we can, really, to try and just mitigate our weaknesses. We'll be awaiting the arrival of additional men here. As far as it goes here, what I'm going to do is likely bring the 38th here. Bring the 21st. The 2nd will move into Luzon as well. So what we'll be doing then is bringing a total of 4 divisions. The 2nd, the 2nd, 21st, 38th, and I think the 48th is the one that's already here at this moment in time. And then we'd have the 65th Brigade. Yeah, 48th. So that's going to give us quite a chunk of force, really. And if we take a look at well, let's just say, for example, the 4 divisions each have, let's say, on average 450 AV. Times that by 4 is obviously 1,800 AV. With the 65th Brigade, that gives us another 249 AV there, taking us over 2,000 AV. Then, of course, we have some artillery, which doesn't make a huge, tremendous difference, but hey. A couple independent engineers. These guys are very valuable, to be honest. Very valuable. Let's see. To be honest, I might as well rest while I'm here. Yes, I think so. Well, he can't attack us anyway until he actually moves into the hex and is here for a day. So what we'll do then is set them to rest mode. There we go. At least that will help to burn off the fatigue and etc. And disruption as well, which is quite nice. There we go. That's good then. So it gives us a little bit of time to rest before we do push on into the actual heartlands here of Luzon. I mean, the good thing about Luzon and the bad thing as well is clear, clear. That's urban light, clear, clear. Jungle's ×2. Urban light, I believe, is ×2 as well. I can double check. Let's double check. Yeah, urban light is ×2, thankfully. The thing about Luzon is you take a look at all those major roads there. I mean, what we need to do, and I think the wave to victory here is... We'll see what happens, but while it's not doing anything, that works in our favour. But what we need to do is build up our force over here at San Fernando. Obviously have the 65th move this way. Obviously these forces are going to move north. But what we need to do is we need to essentially move through here as quickly and as brutally as possible. So having overwhelming assault value is going to be very, very useful to us. As the more damage we can actually inflict on him, the better. He's likely to obviously retreat to Bataan, but this is it. If we have over 2,000 AV, I'm hoping that will be enough to suppress him, well, to defeat him there, really. It's one of these of, we will have 3 divisions made available for Singapore. I'm going to be moving in additional regiments, moving in artillery, moving in just whatever I can. Whatever I can moving in there. But the good news is, by actually being at Mersing, it means that he's not going to get a lot of his AV south, which is going to be great for us. It's going to be very bloody good for us. Excellent, in fact. There's a lot of fuel here at Kuantan. I'm really happy about that. There we go. Oh. Oh, ops. I see. Okay. What I'm going to do here as well, I did consider actually having this head to Easthaven, but what I'm going to do is actually unload that regiment there missing. And that'll give us another 100 plus AV there, which is good, so I can actually have that to hold this position, probably pushing off then. Yeah, it's going to be brutal. It's going to be absolutely brutal. Is that APD set off yet? How could it take so long? Absolutely bizarre. I suppose it's probably because of other assets here. Like, you shouldn't be unloading. Have you instead load fuel? And then they can move over here shortly, but I need them to load fuel now. Moving all that supply into Muri, which is going to be great. Ah, there's the Yokosuka. That's nice. Brings in an influence of supply in here as well. We'll be attacking here with the RTA. So the detachments of the 6th Royal Thai Army. Is that 6th Division? Yeah. That's nice. In China, I'm more or less assembling our forces. These men are getting ready. Had them unpacked. In fact, what I can do is have them rest while they are here. Makes sense to do so. Obviously, they need more supply here. But we'll have them rest. You can see that they've obviously picked up a little bit of fatigue. Nothing much, but a little bit of fatigue nonetheless. Which we can actually rectify. There we're in there. Okay. Right. So looking at a few days until we get the big influx of auxiliaries once again. Yeah, today was a nice day. I mean, we destroyed another 15 of his buffalo. He lost a TBD Vindicator. Vindicator's good to shoot down. And where is it? Yeah. He lost 2 of his F2A3 buffaloes. I believe those are the carrier buffaloes. So that's good. Nothing major, but those were the Zero shot them down over this way. So it's one of those of his cap has been ever so slightly weakened. He's used some of his ordnance as well, which is a good thing. It's a very good thing, in fact. We'll just have to see how things go, really, but we can only see. We can only see. To be honest, it's unlikely. It's unlikely we'll see battle tomorrow, but we will indeed see. We will indeed see. As we really experience what may very well be the Battle of Wake Island. Very interesting. I think we've gone through most things here. You can see why I did this as a pretty long form video, really. We're going to prepare for the attack over here at Rangoon, really. But I like having the naval search in this area. I like to make sure we have the assets there that we need. It allows more of our escort to be made available for other tasks. Right. So just set all of them to march to Georgetown. No, in fairness, I need that engineer regiment at Kota. Let's take a look over here. Right, now that I've offloaded the less than great things. Want to make sure they can move at a uniform speed. Right, here we go. Yokosuka needs to move downwards. Right, it's lots of artillery, really. Shipping engineer would be useful at Kota. Armor can move south and then towards Georgetown. Right. Okay, Mersing has no airfield. Kuantan would be good for him. Get those AVs into Kuantan, gives us a lot of aviation then, in addition there. Ooh, just enough here. Just enough. shift down to Kota as well. One of those AVs is going to remain here. Otherwise, I'll have no AV here. Okay. Oh, that's not loading, I see. Ah, damn it. Right, well, what I'll do then is let what has to unload, and then I'll move the rest of it out. Towards Indochina, really. Yeah, there's a lot of fast-moving assets here that need to get loaded up, really. Move them north to Singora. Yeah, this is the issue, because we have so many troops unloading, we have so many troops in place. It's difficult to really get them moving to where we want them to be. Have them instead patrol that area. Then I can obviously have them act as an escort then, should be nice. Okay. Yeah, as soon as we get the forces organised, I mean, really what I'm doing here then is allowing Kota Baru to focus on loading up the... Yeah, focus on loading up the Imperial Guard. Oh, how odd. Move you north. There we go. And then I can obviously take additional assets down there, which is good. Yeah. And they can earn a tremendous amount of supply, which is good news. There we go. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, really. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, ideally, we had a successful first bomber attack against Singapore, really, and en masse. Which is what we want to see there. Now, ideally, we just cause more damage, really. These fellas are making good progress. It's a shame they didn't make as much progress as I would have liked, but oh well. But yeah, just look at that. We've took barely any losses here. Barely any losses. It'll take them 2 days to arrive here, so they'll arrive here on the 21st. Which is less than great, but hey, maybe a little bit of a delay is not a bad thing. Gives the division that time to unload there. We'll have a regiment moving in there as well. It's just frankly trying to get everything down here is going to be difficult, but that's okay. It's probably better to march upon Johor Bahru with more men. I mean, what I could do is actually get the division there on the 21st, and then maybe wait for the 2nd division to arrive and then move down here. We'll soon see, really. Soon see. Hmm. So I'm sure we saw a tiger down here as well, actually. Let's see. Yeah, we did look at you to avoid the worst of that fire. Worst of that fire, sorry. I7. Juju. Okay. Hmm. Hey, what I'll do is have to review these, because he is going to be shifting his convoy lanes shortly. Might be better to have these two subs patrol this area, really. Though while we do see blood in the water there. I mean, obviously I'll review these, but I want to just, like, extend it a little bit. I mean, let's see. We'll shift them around every couple days, really. Maybe even be worthwhile doing, like, a daily switch, really. Good news is because we have like float planes, it does make things far easier. But yes, indeed, we'll be having a big reorganization in general of the submarine arm. I don't know why I can't move these guys. It's bizarre. Move them back to Cow. And then we'll move them out elsewhere. I don't doubt he won't have failed to pick up this movement. Okay, you're in position. Okay, I'm going to move one of these units back to Iceycrome. They probably may not even take it, and I don't want to have that constantly cost me AV. So it cost me victory points. That's so weakly held, it's not even funny. Reinforce that area then. So we'll take a look at this area shortly, really. Such an awkward one, though. Okay. I think we are pretty much ready to go with that, really. It's going to be an interesting one, but we shall see, really. We shall see. At least we'll have more naval search in this area. It's a bit too late, but, well. Better late than never, in some cases, not always. But we'll see, really. We'll see. Who knows? Who knows, frankly? Who knows? I need to delete these saves again. Which I can do, which is nice. Oops. Yeah, I think it's actually technically 10:14. So we'll save it there. Then I'll go ahead and send the turn off in just a moment. And that should look good. I do these settings are correct and proper. It's a scary time, but, well, we'll see. Give them better leaders than if we can. Well, actually, that shouldn't be like that. It's very... There seems to be some bizarre things that happen sometimes, so I'll have to get that sorted, then send the turn off. As for how much of a difference it makes a squadron leader, who particularly knows? I'd have to read up on it. But we can only hope. So yeah, I'm going to save it again there then. I'll just save it separately. Save it there. And then we'll send that off after I get resolved. Resolve that, sorry. Thank you so very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys have enjoyed it, then do let me know. I'm going to read out my lovely patrons, because they are absolutely awesome and really, really help out with doing this. Really makes a big difference. Really nice. Let's see. So, a big thank you to Mr. Alex, Mr. Baines, BLeAcHACiD, deepicduck, DingoBat4, Eric Wild, Erkkijuusto, George Kilgore, Gregory VanHouten, Iceycrome, Imperator Thrawn, James Lindsay, Lord Luba, Mark Tolson, paradigmblue, Paul Sanders, Raphael, Richard Hopper, Rick Chambers, Ricky Blinson, Sam, spacht, SunYan, Tan1E, The Forgotten, Thunder, and Lindholm. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. You guys really do make it absolutely worth it. Really appreciate it. If you guys would also like to have your names read out, then please consider becoming a patron if you feel I've earned it. That's it. I want to make sure I've earned it. Thank you so very much. See you next time, guys. Ayasumi Nesai.